What time is it? Game time! Woo!
What up, YouTube? It's your boys, PDubs, MichaelB the Game Genie, with another awesome episode of the Super GameRoom Dudes. Let's get it started. All right, man. So unfortunately, we're down a couple of dudes tonight. Restalgia's sick. He's got his period.
That's not what actually happened. Restalgia said something about taking a trip on a boat out to international waters because he could love whoever he wanted to love out there. So I don't know what that's about.
where international maritime laws are the only ones that apply. And Carl's beautiful daughter is in town visiting, so they got some family stuff going on. So we got half a game room tonight, but you know what? Half a game room on the panel, but nothing but full of love in your hearts. Oh man, I screwed that up, man. I screwed that up. That was supposed to be a good one too. All right, so let's see. As always, guys, before we kick off the show, we say howdy do to whoever's here in the live chat. Let's see who's here. We got Jason, we got RB Wings, we got Material Defender, Hollywood Polo, MichaelB, Hazo, Fuzzy, Logic, Skynet's here. Better watch out. Skynet's here.
Actually, I want to say something really quick. I Skynet, I don't know. I think it's you, but I got a really nice message from Skynet. I don't know if you got it too over what's the video game thing? Steam. And anyways, P-Dubs, I'll share it with you if you didn't get it. Sent us a really nice message. Thank you so much, man. It's so cool to hear that.
What did he say?
Just a lot of nice things. He's talking about like us doing the show and creating a community and being positive. So really? I'll send it to you. I can't remember it all off the top of my head, P-Dubs.
You know, we're not one to toot our own horns, but I do believe that we try to continue to bring positivity to this arcade and gaming community. Yet we will still hold, the feet to the fire when we need to, when stuff goes wrong, right? So, he's on a secret Illuminati mission. There you guys go. We did our best to kill off the Illuminati last week, Mike. We did an Illuminati special. The goal of that show, of course, everyone, was to say, hey, this whole stuff is stupid. And if it was real, this is how it would work. And do you see how stupid this is, right? You know what I mean? Like, so we did our best to kill it off. But we ended up giving birth to the ROOMINATI. You know what I mean? And, speaking of which, guys, if you haven't picked up your t-shirts yet,
Initiates, it's time to show your support of the Super GameRoomInati. Get your t-shirts today and wear your brand with pride. Only available on Restalgia's Teespring store today. Link is in the video description below. Get your t-shirts, support the cause, And remember, we are always watching.
By the way, guys, I got my shirt on right here, and as you can see, they are spectacular. In fact, Teespring sent Restalgia an email, MichaelB, and they said, you guys got to stop promoting these shirts. We're running out of red ink, and there's a backup getting ink from overseas. You know what I mean? So, guys, we want you to buy the shirts, but try and buy just one at a time. I know you guys want to buy 2 or 3 shirts of different colors, but there you guys go.
Apparently, they're going to be hot on the secondary market. People are buying them in bulk. Resellers.
Think about all the modding opportunities for this shirt as well.
Yeah. You could cut it off, make a nice belly top.
Yeah. Well, let's start the show proper, guys. We got a little bit of console news. Well, not a little bit. A couple of really cool console gaming news. We want to talk about iiRcade, their new game releases today. One of them has a big problem that we're kind of shocked, surprised, past QA, but they're already working on a fix. Also, we'll talk Arcade1Up. We have the official, what we believe to be pre-order date for when the Golden Tee Arcade1Up XL cabinet orders are going to go live. We're going to throw that at you and our reasons for that in a couple of minutes. We're also going to talk about this Double Dragon leaked cabinet and all that kinds of stuff. I actually have photos without Big Reese's watermark on them. So, you know, that's all.
It's Toycade's.
We put Toycade's watermark on them instead. And then what else, Mike? What else are we going to talk about? I feel like I'm forgetting a couple of things.
Replicade. We're going to talk about.
Oh yeah, Replicade. Yeah. Yes, Replicade, which I'm very excited about. So, guys, we have a lot to go through and only an hour and 18 minutes to do it, because that's how long this show always seems to go. So let's get to it, Mike. Let's kick it off. And you know what? Because we have a whole bunch of topics to talk about tonight, Mike, I'm going to roll the transitions because they help me with adding you guys have to understand these little transitions help me to add the timestamps later. That way, if you don't want to watch the full episode, if you just want to watch the parts or topics that interest you, timestamps are awesome for you to do that. And these little intros help me find where in the show to put the timestamps. So let's get to the console chatter. All right, guys. So Mike is pretty excited about this bad boy. What do we got going on here, Mike?
f-zeroX on the Nintendo Switch for the Nintendo Switch Online service in the N64 library. It's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful, man. And you know what? Honestly, although this is a Nintendo 64 game, I never played this one, Mike. I never played this.
It
looks kind of fun. It looks kind of fun.
f-zeroX was absolutely badass, and F-Zero GX on the GameCube is another winner. The F-Zero series seemingly disappeared after the Super Nintendo in most mainstream fans' hearts, but they released some good-ass games after that, and F-ZeroX is one of them. The fact this is on there now and you can play online multiplayer is just such a cool treat. But I will tell you, anybody going in saying, oh, that's nice, this is a light, relaxing racing experience like Mario Kart, that it ain't. It is hard.
It is hard. Oh, by the way, there is something going on with AtGames that I forgot to mention, which don't let me forget, Mike, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that real quick. I actually had a separate video about that coming out tomorrow, but we'll give people the main headline here in just a minute. Now, you know what's funny, Mike, is they've added all these online Switch games, and you and I are Switch buddies, yet we haven't played online with each other yet. Like, we should do this, man. We should do a live stream and have people join us and play some of these games.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, it's the curse of doing YouTube stuff because I could make a video on the backlog of games that I have, want to play, want to do, but then you're also tied up with all the YouTube stuff you want to do. So it's trade-off. And you know, like I do, I talked to you last night. You were like, man, I got to work on this video. You spend so much time working on videos and getting information, assets together. It's so hard to find time to play.
Guys, Endless One Up, he's always a funny guy. He's got a great sense of humor. He's also got a fun YouTube channel. Make sure you guys check out Endless One Up on YouTube. He wants to come on as the heel of the show and get kicked off within 5 minutes. But now you told everyone it's a shtick, and now it won't work unless you ruined the online. Switch buddies, is that when you put your joystick in the fishbowl? Say what? I don't know what that means, Mike.
I've never
It
heard
sounds
that.
it sounds dirty though.
Is
It
this
sounds
like
dirty.
what happens at an office party? I'm confused.
So, how many Nintendo 64 games does that put on the online Switch thing right now? What do you think, buddy?
I think this is 14, and they started with 10, and then this is the fourth of the monthly installments because we got Paper Mario. I got to make sure to say it right.
Mhm.
Banjo Kazooie, Majora's Mask, and then this. So I think it's 14, either 14 or 16.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, we got a question in the live chat while I'm pulling up the next thing. You want to show off and hype that shirt that Matt Asher is talking to you about?
Yeah, so this is another Super GameRoom Dudes shirt. MichaelB wins. If anybody tuned in to put your quarters on the glass a little while ago, this thing played itself out in real lives as I beat PDubs' ass at Street Fighter. So anyways, there's a bunch of these on Restalgia's Teespring store. That's the place to get all your Super GameRoom Dudes merch. And Restalgia needs it because he bought the house from the, what is it called? The Money Trap, or what? Is that what it's called? The Money Pit.
Yeah, the Money Pit. The Money Pit. Hey guys, do us a favor. Glenn's Retro Show is here. Make sure you guys say hello to Glenn. And don't forget, every Friday night, the Super Game Room Dudes go live at 9 p.m. But over on Glenn's Retro Show channel at 8 p.m., he's kicking it old school with his new podcast show. Make sure you guys check out and support Glenn in that show. We're all really sad to see that the Retro Buzz is now off the air. They were our lead-in before we went live. But don't worry, guys. You can still get your weekly dose of Glenn by subscribing to Glenn's Retro Show and kicking it old school with Glenn. And moving right along with console news is probably the biggest console news of the week. I mean, there was a PlayStation announcements and things like that, Mike. But the Cowabunga collection, man, this looks super cool in my opinion. Like, I'm super excited about this. You're getting, what, how many games? 12?
A lot of Turtles games. A lot of Turtles games. Yeah.
A lot of Turtles games, and this looks like a really cool collection, although probably a couple of these games probably haven't aged well, right?
I hate that statement.
Well, I mean, seriously, some games get so bad you can't play them anymore, like Bad Dudes.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So some people will say, oh, the graphics aren't good enough for me. Like, for me, it's always been more about gameplay. Sometimes the graphics do make a difference, but yeah. So anyways, this is a great collection of games. I think that there's a positive and negative to this.
Yeah.
When a lot of the Konami collections came out last year, like we saw the Castlevania collection and then the Contra collection, then I think there was a Gradius collection as well. A lot of people were saying, oh, they'll never release a Turtles collection, so we're finally getting it, and I think that's dope.
Yeah. So what's really cool is this is coming out on pretty much all platforms, right? Not just the PlayStation 5, right? This is coming out everywhere.
It was a little confusing at first because it seemed like it was just going to come out for the PlayStation 5 during the state of play, but it said available on all consoles afterwards. So you're going to get it on the Nintendo Switch, and that feels like that's where this should be. But, you know, it's great for people that don't have Switches.
Yeah, especially with the Game Boy games on here and the Super Nintendo games on here, right? Like, you feel like this should just be a Switch exclusive, but it's not.
Yeah, so I will tell you what I like about this. I love the fact that anybody can pick this up, Steam, whatever, but there's a downside to these things too. We were just talking about the Nintendo Switch online system and the Nintendo Switch library, and now we're talking about this collection, the Turtles collection. These were Nintendo games, and we kind of want to play them with that Nintendo controller. So this being a separate collection kind of means that Konami have their money tied up in this and probably won't allow Nintendo to license Turtles for the Nintendo Switch Online service. So you're not going to get Turtles in Time. You're not going to get the 3 NES games. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
that's why there's no Castlevania or Contra on the
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch Online service either, because they had the Castlevania and Contra collections. So
I never thought of that, man. But you have more console knowledge in your brain than I do, man. So good for you, man. Good for you. So yeah, I think that looks like a cool collection, and a lot of people were talking about put it on an arcade. Well, I mean, this is kind of what like my thing. You know how I love my multicades, Mike. You know, if you buy this and you use your Intech gaming control deck on your Arcade1Ups, you'll probably be able to play these games on an Arcade1Up. You know, if these are on other platforms, your Xbox or on Steam, etc., you could play this on your AtGames devices, right, via OTG. Like, you know what I mean, guys? Like, it's pretty cool. You'll be able to play this collection and not have to buy the Arcade1Up Ninja Turtles cabinet. Oh, Mike, I'm just kidding. Let's see here.
Oh,
Michael...
Sathius has a really good comment here. Well, yeah, you can bring up that one, but then go back to Sathius's.
Oh, there is a Sega Genesis version in there too.
So,
nice.
So Hyperstone Heist, which a lot of people actually prefer over Turtles in Time. I mean, it goes back and forth. I like both games, but Hyperstone Heist has a different level, and you end up taking on Tatsu. Remember the Shredder's second in command bad guy from the movies?
Yeah.
Tatsu is one of the last enemies. Yeah, Tatsu is one of the last enemies in the Sega Genesis game. Graphics are really sharp too. And the other cool thing about that is I just did my Genesis mod. And unfortunately, if you keep it stock and don't put Restalgia's retro work and other foolishness on it, if you just want to use the stock emulator and just the games that come with it, Turtles doesn't work. You can play it, but it doesn't have any sound. So this is a cool option for people. If you did mod your Genesis and you don't have any sound, you can play it this way too.
Yeah, that's great. Now, besides TMNT and f-zeroX, was there any other console stuff we wanted to catch up on? I'm trying to remember, man. I've had a rough week.
Geez, there was so much stuff this week. We had the March 10th Mario sales. We had a pile of Steam sales. There was so much going on in the console world this week in terms of just good deals. Like, that was the big news. Wasn't a lot of new information, people waiting for new games coming out. Other than like the state of play where Turtles was announced. I didn't hear much more about that. Gran Turismo 7 came out, so people seem happy with that. The Elden Ring love continues, and I'm just sitting around with my thumb up my butt playing Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West because it's beautiful, long, and I do every single side quest in that game. Oh, yeah. Devil Waldo has one, but we can talk. That's not really a console one. We'll talk about that later. Devil Waldo.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to the pinball, my friend. We'll get to the pinball. Horizon Forbidden West. I haven't been able to get past that first opening scene. I just haven't had time to play, right? Plus, I have Elden Ring. I installed it, but haven't played it yet. Unfortunately, Mike, I've had one of those weeks where my work's been kicking my butt. Plus, I've had to take care of, grown-up stuff after work. I haven't been able to do any videos, right? But, Mike, you are a video machine, man. Every 12 hours, there's a new MichaelB video. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Making fun of me. He's making fun of me.
We got a $5 super chat from Scarpad. In a live stream, I tried to get Cool Toy to name his upcoming son PDubs. I'm afraid I couldn't sell it. Sorry, PDubs. That is a terrible name for a child. I hope Cool Toy shot that down.
He did.
I wouldn't even consider naming my kid P-Dub. Patrick Jr. maybe. Well, my son is named Patrick.
Yeah, Cool Toy did divulge to me the name of his son, by the way.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
What is it?
The ROMs.
The ROMs? He's just going to call the ROMs? If you smell what the ROMs are emulating. Oh my goodness, that's too funny. Gran Turismo came out as well. I didn't buy that one yet because, guys, I have a backlog of stuff. And although I love racing games, I don't know when I would be able to play it, Mike. Like, I really want to get into Elden Ring. I still got to beat the Spider-Man games that I paid for over a year ago. Remember, I bought the games and then I couldn't get my hands on the system. You know what I mean? Like, so I got a lot of stuff I got to play before I buy more console stuff.
Oh, what's the other one you bought? I bought it too, and I really regretted buying it.
Well, I got
beautiful. What's the one that's beautiful but also ridiculously hard?
Demon's Souls.
Demon's Souls. Oh my god.
Demon's Souls.
So
here's my back. Can I show my backlog real quick?
Sure.
You can tell your brother's story. So here's my backlog, guys. You tell me if I have time to play Gran Turismo. I got to play Demon's Souls. I haven't gotten far in that game. I gotta beat Spider-Man Miles Morales, Mike. I won't far in that game.
That one's short. That one's only like 7 hours.
I got Horizon, I got Elden Ring, and these games will take what? I mean, geez, it took me 55 hours to beat Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, these games are a commitment, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my brother actually he sent me, what was it, Half-Life 2 on Steam, just as a gift out of nowhere. And then he called me. He was like, "Yeah, I got Half-Life 2 for free." Because I bought Elden Ring. And I was like, "Oh, Matt, what'd you do? Why'd you buy Elden Ring?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know. It looks fun." And everybody's saying it's like the game of the decade. It's Dark Souls with the Breath of the Wild type atmosphere, but I can't get past the first part, which is Dark Souls. I've yet to enjoy a Dark Souls game. I've bought several. I'm trying. I just can't. I don't get it. I know this is the most accessible, but I just can't do it, man. I'm staying away from that. I got other stuff that I want to enjoy more. Playing video games is my break. It's my chance to get away, not torture.
So, Garage Gamer, guys, make sure you check him out on Instagram. He does and Twitter. He does a great job playing a lot of console games, and he's put up a bunch of like Elden Ring videos, and I like watching him because he's always like, "Oh, this boss was easy," and I'm like, I know when I get to that boss is going to kick my ass, and I'm going to have to fight him like 8 times before I beat him, right? So make sure you guys check out Garage Gamer. Also, we had a great question in here, guys, and this is actually a question for everybody. You're still buying discs? I want to open this up to all you viewers out there. So I'm old school. Even when it comes to my modern consoles, I prefer to have the clamshells, the discs if I can get them. I would say out of my PlayStation 5, my Xbox Series X, as well as my Nintendo Switch, although they're not CDs, they're the little cartridges, which are the 3 big modern consoles right now. I would say about 75% of my games are still physical copy. Like the ones that aren't would be like all my Xbox Game Pass ones that I just download. And there's plenty of Nintendo Switch stuff that I just buy and download to the Switch. But I like physical stuff. Like, are you guys all digital? Mike, what about you? Are you digital now?
I'm getting there, but in a different way. I live in a different place where I'm physical media for the win. I'll fly that flag all day. I collect retro games. I've kept retro games all my life. I don't like this aspect of buying games digitally unless that's the only way you can buy them, or there's another big up with that unless it's too good a deal to pass up. And I was watching a little bit of the Twisted Takeover earlier, and they talked about this too, and I completely agree with it. I absolutely don't understand why a physical game and a digital game are the exact same price. By doing it digitally, they save so much money on manufacturing it. They save so much money on putting it out to stores, all that shit. There should be some discount provided to gamers if you're willing to do the evergreen, I don't know if evergreen's the right term, the sensible recycling thing and just put the game out there. There's also things that you trade off by buying the digital copy. You can't resell it. You can never go back and just trade that game in or anything like that. You're just stuck with it, and you never physically own it because it's just a license. And if that server goes down one day, your game's toast. So there's a lot of stuff there. I'm physical in every possible way I can, but like if I can buy, like I've been buying Steam games like crazy just because it's convenient, and I'll only buy them when they're cheap. Like I bought what was it, Grand Theft Auto 4, like this Ultimate Edition for $8.99 there last night on Steam. And Kev Gert's right. I need to stop buying stuff on Steam. It's becoming a bit of a problem. But when it's like, $10, I mean, at that point, I'm fine with that. Sure, I'll buy a digital game for $10.
Yeah. Devil Waldo, same thing with books. I like where he's going with it. If you're not mass producing something physically and paying for shipping and packing and materials and labor, and like literally you're just uploading something for people to download, I don't understand why we're not getting a discount. I agree with you completely. We got a $5 super chat from Console Fanboy. He says I should skip Elden Ring and go to Horizon.
Horizon's so good.
He says if I skip the cutscenes, I'll be done in an hour. That's one thing about this game, though, like because I played like the first part of the game, and Horizon, I'm like, man, there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking. I felt like I was playing like you ever play the Dragon Age games, Mike?
I've never played Dragon Age, but it reminds me a lot of playing.
A lot of talking. One
of the first times I ever played one of those games where there was just like endless amounts of dialogue was Knights of the Old Republic on the Xbox. You remember that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and you would have to go up to everybody and you would have to engage in all this dialogue to unlock the next section. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, Horizon's not as bad as what Zohar's saying. Zohar put a video out and said, "Oh wow, way too many cutscenes," but it does get a little bit dialogue heavy. And with Horizon, I'm also the kind of person, like I have to do the side quests. Like if I'm not at the level where the quests are telling me that's the level I should be, I'm side questing like crazy. So Horizon takes me a long time.
We got another $5 super chat from Prince Malcolm. Hell yeah, I'm buying discs. The reason why it's because you'll never get Sony or Xbox to give you a digital copy of games like Shank or Manhunt 2. There you
That's
go.
true. There was another comment there I just want to touch
That's
on.
that's a good point by MG that I didn't think about.
Yeah.
You know, all right, MG, all right. But also, this is a great comment, right? As well as this one as well by Worst Jago. Retailers would revolt if they were cheaper online.
Yeah, I mean,
That could be true.
It's an incentive to buy the physical copy, so I guess they could keep it. But one other thing I wanted to say, what was it? RG3, I can't remember. It's gone now. But he said, even if you have the disc, you still don't own it. It's still a license. That's where we are with physical games now. Even though you can resell them, typically what a game is now is a download disc. It's basically just a disc to show that you purchased the license to the digital copy. Because think about it, you install that game, it goes right to the internet. It has to have, most of them have to have internet connection, and the exact same thing. Like if you own a physical copy of Destiny, guess what? That server ever goes down, that game's worthless. Doesn't matter if you have a disc or not.
That's true. That's true. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of consoles and stuff. Mike, we've already burned 26 minutes. Let's kind of move on to some of the arcade stuff. We're going to come back, talk about some pinball and things like that. Let's real quick catch up with AtGames. We do have some good news for you owners of the AtGames arcade family of products. All right, Mike. So, and all of you out there, pay close attention. So, when AtGames in their latest 5.65 firmware, in fact, actually, no, starting with firmware 5.62, where they kind of removed root access to their system and things like that, it caused a lot of people who played those wonderful CoinOpsX builds that they've either purchased or downloaded off the internet, issues. Games weren't working properly. Controls weren't working properly. High scores weren't saving, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I myself made a video 2 weeks ago telling owners, if you're having issues with the games you're playing, because keep in mind, guys, these little drives or builds have thousands of games on them, right? And if you stick to the same 20 games and those 20 games play fine, Mike, you don't need to roll back your firmware. But if the games you really enjoy playing are messing up, I made a video telling people roll back your firmwares to 5.61 until things can get figured out. Because if you're on firmware 5.61, you're not going to encounter those issues. Now, the good news is our Chefs of Sauce, this wonderful group of developers out there in the community who spend hundreds of hours putting these builds together, they found a workaround. So if you go to the usual spots where you pick up and download your CoinOpsX builds, you'll find there's a new CoinOpsX version 5. The Saucy is version 5 is still a live edition. And you can do a couple things. You can download a fix file that you can drag and drop onto your existing CoinOpsX build, or you could download just a whole new build from scratch, put it on a thumb drive. I have a tutorial on my video, shows you how to do all that on my channel, shows you how to do all that stuff. And boom, you can go ahead and update to firmware 5.65 or later, and you're not going to encounter all these issues that people were encountering. So just a heads up there. So yes, kudos to those guys for putting together those sexy, saucy CoinOpsX builds and all that kinds of stuff. Some people waited, they didn't want to roll back, and all that kinds of stuff. So yep, it does take a while to download depending on where you download it from. But we can't share links on the podcast. But that's what's going on with AtGames, Mike. Other than that, they've been quiet. They haven't released a firmware. They haven't released any news. There's really not much going on there, is there, buddy?
It's a little bit tough because AtGames announced a lot of product, and they're still waiting for that product to come out. So they gave people information early on stuff like the Core Max, some other products they had in the works, and it's taken a while to get there. So I think they're taking a breath, and they don't want to announce anything new because it did hit the community hard how long it took for them to get there. Maybe they're learning some lessons from what they just went through, that maybe before they announce stuff now, they're waiting to get a little closer to when they can release it so they don't upset the community by doing so. So hopefully they have some new stuff soon. But I will say this, at the same time, I mean, it's hard with the product they have. It keeps growing, keeps evolving. So I mean, there's not really a lot of need to replace it or do anything else with it. So what's your next product after a Legends Ultimate? I mean, you have everything. What's your next product after the Legends Pinball? You have everything. I mean,
know.
I don't know where you go from there.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. I mean, they're not going to release a dozen products a year like the other companies, right? I mean, when you
No.
have open and connected products that are technically supposed to be future proof, right? The goal is you just keep adding to those products. So we'll see. The what I would like them to do is at least announce and let us know, hey man, we got more pinball games coming,
Yeah.
right? Some more first party pinball games. That's what I would like to hear, at least from them this year. Go ahead, buddy.
I keep waiting for them to go in the same direction that iiRcade is in right now with software updates. I'm expecting to see new games, something like that. Doesn't have to be free. We don't mind paying for it. Just give us some good shit and give us something new and exciting to use on our devices. We want to support you. Show us something. Give us something we can buy to support you.
Yep. Look at this. Game packs. Come on, AtGames. I mean, Mike, they sold a lot of those pinball game packs. I mean, they were pretty open with the statistics. They said pretty much, I think it was like upwards of 75% of everyone who owns an AtGames Legends pinball machine bought all the pinball packs. I mean, they made some money off that. So why not keep doing it? Keep pushing that. You know what I mean? Keep making pinball packs and all that kinds of stuff. But speaking of pinball, guys, we're going to pivot over. We're going to talk a little bit of... Oh, go ahead.
He's got an amazing profile picture. I mean, how do we not answer him?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's got macho dubs right there. Go ahead.
So I do have the BitPixel HV, but why I don't have Pixelcade? When he says a Pixelcade, he's talking about the
ones on the arcade machines that I got back here. The ones that say like Asteroids Deluxe.
Yeah, like they're awesome. Good for that people. I love my BitPixel HV. I think it's the coolest shit in the world. You have no idea how much I like it and what else I do with it. But in terms of those BitPixels, they don't do anything for me. I'm waiting for the LCD version, the where LCD. I can do actual marquees for games. Like I don't want to do these because that doesn't do a lot for me. But when it comes to actually going from game to game and then having the marquee matchup, that's good shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know what's funny too is I have these, and you know when that Bit LCD comes out, I do have one on reservation. So I'll definitely at least upgrade one of these cabinets to the Bit LCD. I'm pretty excited about it. But speaking of pinball, Mike, we got big news. So Zen Studios, Pinball FX3, they released the new Indiana Jones pinball game. And this thing has been on fire this week. There have been videos and live streams, gameplay, trailers, reviews, reactions. Zen Studios is getting a lot of coverage because, I mean, it's Indiana Jones, right? They remade a classic Williams table. But you know what's funny, Mike, is it didn't take me long to find the worst person playing Indiana Jones pinball. Like I found this guy streaming, like, so I found this guy. There's a live stream that this guy did. I mean, this clown even wore an Indiana Jones hat and everything. And this is the double flipper guy, Mike. You remember we always used to make fun of this guy who used to always press both flippers at the same time. You know who I'm talking about. He did a live stream showing off the Indiana Jones gameplay. Now I got to tell you, Mike, is I picked this up on Steam and I picked it up on a Switch. So I've already spent $30 on this game, but I feel like I've overpaid because I bought it twice. But this is a first for Zen Studios, man, making us buy only one game for $15. I mean, that was a lot of money for one game. What I try to tell myself, Mike, is it's Indiana Jones, it's licensing. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. But do you really think that's the cause? Or why do you think, man, $15, one game?
I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. Maybe it's the licensing. I don't know. I don't know. But like I said it a million times last night, man, the Pinball FX3 games go on sale on Steam like literally all the time. When Funhouse and that pack came out, it was like 2 months later they were on sale. So for anybody who thinks it's too much, yeah, absolutely. And then some people were making like, I find it so weird in the community. People are making comments like, oh, I'm sure the YouTube content creators don't mind. Like, I'm not rich, man.
I had to pay for mine. I had to pay for
get
mine.
it for free.
Yeah.
But the way I looked at it was, it wasn't just $15 to have a pinball table on my computer. I get so much joy out of this playing it on my AtGames Legends pinball. It's like buying a new pinball table itself. So for me, $15 felt fair, and the game's really good. But that's not for everybody, and I get it. If you think it's a lot, just wait. They usually go on sale like all the time.
Yeah. Hopefully the platforms will put it on sale. But also, Mike, because the new FX is not backwards compatible with these FX3 games, you might have to buy this again if you switch to the new FX when that comes out. Their new, their new platform with the Unreal Engine and all that kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's kind of bad in my opinion. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to really upset people. But despite the fact that it's an expensive game, I got to tell you, Mike, and I'm being completely honest with everyone out there, I think this is one of the best games Zen Studios has ever done. You know what I mean? Like, the music is great, the table's great, the layout of the table's great, the mini games are great. Like, I had a blast playing this on my Nintendo Switch yesterday, or not. Yeah, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Playing it on, and dude, I had a blast. I think it's one of their better games that they've ever done, man. Like, I really enjoyed it. Maybe it's because we're kids and it's Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? And
yeah, there's definitely a nostalgia factor to it, but also on top of that, this is one of the better tables they've done. Now, I've also played this through illicit means, through community tables, and it's a really good game. Like the visual pinball versions that are out there are really good and they play really well. But like Zen just nailed it with this. The physics are so good. This is probably the best Williams physics game I've played, and I've played all of them. Like it feels better than those games. Right. It plays well. Like they just knocked it out of the park. They did such a good job.
Yeah. So Rainwater says, well, why is it a problem to pay $15 if it's so good? I didn't say it was the best game they've ever done. I said it was one of the best games I've ever done, but it comes with a sticker shock because this is the first time we've ever had to pay this much money for one table from Zen Studios. You know what I mean? Like usually we get at least 2 games. You know what I mean?
So it's a lot like the Arcade1Up debate. Like when you guys were buying Arcade1Ups for $3.99, and then all of a sudden they come back out and they're like, "Hey, the new one's $5.99." You feel like throwing up because there's just such an increase in price. I mean, you think about it. Like usually, what's a 3-game pack? Like when Funhouse and them came out, it was 3 games for like $12. So 1 game for $15 feels like a lot.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
But it's a, you know what? But I swallowed it. I paid it. I've downloaded it on 2 systems now, and I enjoy playing it. You know what I mean? Like eventually in the future, Mike, I don't think I'll care that I paid $15 for it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be holding a grudge in the year 2024 that I paid $15 for Indiana Jones Pinball.
I played Indiana Jones Pinball for I think like 4 hours yesterday. I think I got my $15 worth.
Yeah, you played it a long time, man.
Yeah.
Great comment here. Better than paying $15,000 for a real one. Carlos is here, but it's indie. It's worth it. There you go. I can see that we've got a mixed reaction in the live chat, but hey, that's what it's all about. We want your feedback. We'll give you our feedback. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Richard Waddell feels like we're being taken advantage of. He's got a point. I mean, it's a lot of money. But still, look at it, Chris. In 2024, I can't believe I paid $15 for the Indiana Jones pinball.
Probably more, man.
Oh, look at this, Hobby Hands. That's because in 2024, it's going to be $45 for 1 game. I would not be surprised. All right, let's get that off there. So, yeah, very cool. I mean, enjoyable game. If you're willing to spend the money now, go ahead and pick it up. You're going to like it. It's a pretty decent pinball game. If you don't want to spend that much money, I like what Michael said. Wait for a sale.
Always goes on sale.
Right. And that's like, we talk about this with arcades, with video games. Like, for instance, Mike, WWE 2K22 just came out. Rave reviews. And this might be the first WWE wrestling game that's a console game that I buy in years, Mike. I gave up on WWE wrestling games years ago because they were just so bad. But 2K22 is getting great reviews. It's got a whole new engine. The game's been rebuilt from scratch. Everyone says it's great. But Mike, I know probably within a month, it's going to be $25. You know what I mean? So I don't have to be first. I'll wait a month, 2 months, 6 months. I'll wait until it's $25 or less, and then I'll buy it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to be first, guys. You can wait for a sale. Do you agree with me, Mike, or should I spend the $50 and go buy it now? Because everyone's loving WWE 2K22 from what I'm hearing.
Well, it's the factor of, do you want to play it first? These games are games that are going to go on sale. They are going to still be available in 7 months' time. It's not like a limited release. It's not like what Arcade1Up's doing. And I'm going to say something that's kind of negative, but it's a business tactic on their point. But Arcade1Up, a lot like with Nintendo, are trying to create an artificial scarcity with their product. So you go out and pay the higher prices and you don't wait for stuff to go on sale. It's a little sketchy, but at the same time, it's a normal business practice. So that's why, sometimes like with Tron, people saying, oh, I'll just wait till it goes on clearance. And now Tron's pretty much sold out here in Canada. And people are like, shit, I should have bought it. That's because Arcade1Up had a limited amount. It sold more than they expected and they don't have any more, at least not to sell here. But with this stuff, I mean, they're a dime a dozen. It's going to be on Steam forever. You can wait.
Yeah, I agree. Ruben's Lair, what a nice compliment. Loving this stream, guys. Well, we're loving all you viewers out there who tune in every week. Once again, over 258 people are watching the Super GameRoom Dudes podcast show live. We greatly appreciate your support. We enjoy being your Friday night entertainment. And the best way you can show your support right now, guys, is clicking that thumbs up button. That helps the show and the channel like you wouldn't believe. Click that thumbs up button and also consider subscribing. All right, Mike, we got a lot of Arcade1Up stuff to talk about, but we also have some iiRcade stuff to talk about. Which one should we tackle first? Do you want to end the show with iiRcade or end the show with Arcade1Up? What do you think, buddy? I'll let you run the show.
No, man, dealer's choice. It's up to you, brother.
Well, what about the viewers? Do you guys want to talk about Arcade1Up right now or iiRcade? Let us know in the live chat. While you're letting us know, $5 super chat from Hobby Hands. I can pay $15 and get hours of enjoyment, or pay $30 for a movie ticket for only 2 hours of enjoyment. There's some perspective. There you go, buddy. There you go. All right, Ritual Delos. Oh, look at all those compliments. Well, we always have the best viewers. I have to say, the viewers make the show. You guys crack us up every single time. Every single episode, we get derailed because of the viewers. All right, I'm seeing more people voting for iiRcade than 1UP. All right, I guess we're gonna have to see what's up with our. Wait, hold on. What is it? What's up?
What's up with Arcade1Up?
No, they're last. The people want iiRcade now.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's talk about iiRcade right now, Mike. All right, so just like planning a wedding, whenever you are having a big day, something always seems to go wrong for all these arcade companies, right? AtGames has made mistakes. iiRcade has made mistakes. Arcade1Up definitely makes mistakes and all that kinds of stuff, right? But let me show you guys something very interesting. So, okay, first off, great day for iiRcade completing the Rastan trilogy, right? Warrior Blade, super awesome game. iiRcade, every YouTuber who they know has an iiRcade. Well, how do they know you have an iiRcade? Either they send it to you as a demo review unit, guys like John Riggs, RGT85, etc., or you've made videos on it, right? So like everyone who is a YouTuber who they know has an iiRcade, they sent out an email blast earlier in the week, said, "Hey guys, this is under embargo. We're releasing Rastan 3, right?"
Whoa. You're telling people about the inner circle, man. You can't do that.
No, stop. This is the same thing that every video game publisher does with all their Switch channels and their Sony channels and their Xbox channels. There's nothing controversial about it. Hey guys, we're releasing a game, which if you'd like a copy to review, let us know. So a lot of YouTube channels said, yes, we'd love a copy. And then once you get your copy, you could either say, hey, this game sucks. Hey, this game's awesome. I mean, that's what this stuff's all about, just like console gaming. So what's interesting is iiRcade sent it out and a lot of reviews came out, and I played the game, really, really liked the game, but they made a mistake, Mike. So let's get the bad news out of the way first, right? Big mistake. Guys, take a look at this screenshot here. What do you see right here? So what you see in this screenshot is you see on the left-hand side of the screen, you see the pixel perfect. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you look at the words, the T, the 5, the word harbor, you'll see the pixel perfect, right? But if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, it has that smoothing effect, Mike, that ugly Vaseline blurry filter that we absolutely hate on our retro arcade games, man. We hate this filter. We hate it when Arcade1Up uses it. We hate it when iiRcade uses it. And for some reason, this game got released with that on there by mistake, right? Now, the good news is this has been reported to iiRcade, and they are working on fixing it, and they're going to fix it probably fairly quickly.
Whoa.
What?
You don't understand. You don't understand.
What?
That's just the mirror image, because the first screen is the actual screen, and that one is the mirror image. That's how you play the dual screen games.
That's not it.
That's why it's fuzzy. It's the mirror image.
It's not that. It's not that. The original arcade game, whatchamacallit, was 2 screens side by side, which is really cool. It gives you kind of like this really big landscape, kind of cinematic feeling, right? But the fact that it got released this way really sucks. You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for that thing, everything else today, great for iiRcade. You know what I mean? Like, the game is great. People are digging the game. What's funny is I didn't even notice the right-hand side had the smoothing effect, and I played the game for an hour, Mike. And I did not see it at all until somebody else told me and said, PDubs, take a look at the right-hand side of the screen. And I'm like, what? And I look. And I'm like, they're like, now take a look at the left. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, look at the difference. And I was like, oh my God, once you see it, it can't be unseen.
I wish you never
know what I
told me
mean?
about it, to be honest.
Yeah. And now that I showed it to you, now you're not going to see it. But dude, Mike, I played it for an hour and I didn't even notice it. So it might not be as bad as people are saying. It is something that's going to get fixed, but it's a great game. It's a great game for them. And now they have the Rastan trilogy. They have the Double Dragon trilogy. They have the Dragons Lair trilogy. There's a lot of good trilogies on that.
I heard a rumor they're taking Double Dragon 3 off. It didn't pass the quality test. It's too shitty. So they're just going to take it off.
I think that's your personal bias because you hate Double Dragon
shitty.
3.
It's so shitty. Like, it is awful.
Yeah. So it's a small thing. But yeah, it kind of sucks that that happened, but they're aware of it and they're working on it. Meatball Saucy says Warrior Blade, which is Rastan 3 is Warrior Blade, is awesome, but I'm not buying it until it's online. Play it elsewhere solo. You know what? I think on their iiRcade live stream today, Michael said it's not going to be online right away. It's not like on that first batch of games, so it's going to be a little while before this one gets added. Thanks so much, Carlos, for reminding people to give us a thumbs up. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Oh my God, someone called Stone Temple Pilots because someone just got off the Vaseline. Yeah, I mean, we hate that filter, man. Like, I hate that filter. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't stand it on the older games. You know what I mean? But hey.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but I will be honest with you.
Yeah.
I wish you never told me, because I remember looking at it, and I guess it was out of the left eye, and I have astigmatism, so that probably affected it too. But man, oh man, I was looking at it and I was like, this game's so sharp looking. Like, it looks so nice. Someone asked earlier about, like, with the aspect ratio where it's the 2 widescreens, it's really tiny on the screen, on the 19-inch screen, but it still looks really good. It's super fun. Like, I would put this one up there with the same quality level as Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder in terms of playability and quality. Like, this is a badass game. Like, when they sent it to me, I was like, whatever. I wasn't super excited about it, but when I started playing it, I was like, they got a winner here, a real winner. This is great. Now, in the press release that was sent to me, this is also the first time that this version of the game has ever come to North America licensed.
Yeah. Apparently, this arcade game was only released in Japan and was never released in the United States. So that's pretty cool to hear that. And now we're getting it officially on an arcade in North America. That's pretty cool. And obviously, once they fix that little filter on the right-hand side of the screen, this is going to be pretty cool. But man, what a goof up, man. I feel bad. Like, what a goof up.
I'm not honestly, I'm not that worried about it. Like, I don't have any reservation that this isn't going to be fixed. There's other arcade companies that have released products with filters, and you ask the question, is this going to be fixed? Are they going to make the investment? And they never do. I don't have that problem at iiRcade. If something goes wrong, I know it's going to be fixed.
We have more people in the live chat agreeing that Double Dragon 3 is a horrific game.
Oh, it's the
like
shits. Honestly, it is the worst. It's so horrible.
It's like a side-scrolling Elden Ring. There you go. I really like this game, and and that's probably because I really like the Golden Axe series as well. Right now, Rastan 1, that game angers me. You know what I mean? Like, I think when the game was released on the iArcade, I got to like 140,000 points, but don't ask me how many times I quartered in. You know what I mean? And had to restart levels because you get touched and you're dead, right? This game, what I love about it, I love the life bar. You know what I mean? The life bar is awesome, right? I love the fact that it has different linear paths you can take. There's different bosses you can fight throughout the game. There's unlockable bosses you can fight. There's a reason to play this game more than once, Mike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you play some other beat 'em up games, it's literally the same thing over and over, right? This one's a little bit different each time you play it, depending on your choices. So, I really like this game myself, and all that kinds of stuff. So, look forward to and yeah, Meatball Saucy, he rules on the original Rastan. I remember when I was on the leaderboards when it got released on the iArcade, and I was all like, "Yeah, man, I'm like in the top 25 on Rastan," and then Meatball comes in and plays and kicks me off the leaderboards. There you go. But Rastan 1 is anger inducing. The second Rastan game is like Double Dragon 3, Mike. It's
Oh, it's bad?
horrible.
Oh.
Nastar, what is it? Nastar Warrior? Oh my god, Nastar Warrior, one of the worst arcade games ever made, right?
Yeah.
It's like the guys who made Nastar must have been the same guys who made Double Dragon 3. Must have been the same group of guys. But this game definitely saves that franchise. This game's really cool. So
there was
I
another
encourage you guys to check it out.
There was another cool shooter that got released today too, Hellfire, right?
Yeah, but I've never played that one. Do you know anything about that game? I'll try and pull something up while you tell people how amazing it is.
I'm not familiar with it on the arcade at all, but it was on the Genesis. It was a popular game on the Genesis.
All right. But not as popular as Tiger Heli? I like Tiger Heli.
Tiger Heli was a popular NES game, not Genesis game.
I know, but like Tiger Heli on the NES, like I know that one, right? But
there's a
didn't know
difference. Like,
Hellfire.
as much as Genesis is awesome, it still doesn't have that same mainstream, especially for the earlier Genesis games, still doesn't have that mainstream appeal that some of the NES stuff does, right? So, yeah, Hellfire, really cool game. I don't know much about the arcade. I didn't pick it up, but maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah, I haven't picked this one yet up either. I think I have a lot of these Toplin shooters already on my cabinet. I don't know if I'm gonna, want to get this one as well. You talked me into getting Truxton, and Truxton, I can't even get past 50,000 points before I lose.
It's
all my
really
points.
hard. It's really
know what I
hard,
mean?
but it's so good. Music's what sells that one for me.
Guys, if you played Hellfire, if you think it's good, let me know in the live chat, guys. This one also came out today on the iArcade. I honestly didn't even think about this game because I've been all about that. I've been all about the new Rastan Part 3 game.
But honestly,
that one really tickles my fancy.
Honestly, like this and Rastan 3 today were super quality games. Like they're bringing the fire right now. These are good games. They're good classic arcade games. Now I know I saw like you'll have the constant people where they're like, "Where's the new games?" And they'll come, but that's the thing about iArcade. It's there's different people who want different things, and they cater to different audiences. So wait for the new games; they'll come too.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so what would have been a really amazing day for iArcade, in my opinion, unfortunately turns into a slight bummer that the game has some issues. But the good news is, guys, they already know about it and they're fixing it. Hell, they even made an announcement, Mike, on their Facebook pages and stuff saying, "Hey, guys, we're aware that half the screen is fuzzy. We'll get it fixed, right? We'll get it fixed," which is funny because at least they acknowledge it, right? At least they acknowledge it and said they're fixing it. What upsets me is Arcade1Up releases this big blue firmware update that messes up the cabinet. Why haven't they come in and say, "Oh, sorry guys, my bad, but we're working on it"? Like, just that transparency goes so far.
So you want to talk about transparency? Let's be transparent here now. Here's the truth about all this. There's three pillars of the home arcade community in terms of companies. 3 pillars. Well, maybe
I thought you were 4 if you include MichaelB, the Game Genie.
No. But there's 3 pillars, and so you have they're the big ones we talk about the most, that do the most in this space.
Yeah.
So you have iArcade, AtGames, and Arcade1Up, and they're all on.
And they've
different
all
levels.
had issues. They've all had issues.
Yeah, but they're all on
Yeah.
different levels. So iArcade,
Yeah.
the truth of it is, they're the small, community-driven and community-built company that engage with the community well. Why do they reach out to the community? Because it's like a family. Everybody who owns this product, they bring everybody in. They want everybody to know. They want everybody to be on the same level. It's like we're all friggin' investors. That's the way this works. With AtGames, it's similar but different. It's like an in-between. Arcade1Up is 100% just big business. Like they used to be a little bit community involved, not so much anymore, and that sucks because you want them to be. But they're big business, Shack corporation, the complete other end of the spectrum. That's why you don't get the same treatment.
Yep. So yeah, guys. So there was a big blue firmware update that they pushed out to everybody, which gave you the ability to add scan lines to the cabinet, as well as it was supposed to fix the audio. Now, I did do the firmware update. In fact, you pretty much have no choice. You turn on your cabinet and it tells you update your firmware, and you want to hit yes. When, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to cancel it out. Look at what happened to our good friend Kongs R Us, B Kong Mike. His cabinet like went into this never-ending boot cycle. I don't know what happened with him. I accepted the firmware update because you can't do anything unless you accept it, right? Like, without it literally says on the message, if you decline the update, what did it say again, Mike? I can't remember the exact words, but it said your machine will have issues. Like, it literally said that on the message. So I'm like, I can't skip it. I can't ignore it. I have to accept the firmware update. Got the firmware update. I got to tell you, man, the sound, you know how I'm starting to become this big Darkstalkers fan. Like, I'm really digging Darkstalkers. The sound on Darkstalkers now on the cabinet is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's got that, it's like they figured out how to add bass. Like, these cabinets are all that treble and no bass lately, right? Well, they added the bass to that game and the other games, but Street Fighter II Championship Edition, the marquee game on this cabinet, as well as, I think, was it Hyper or Turbo? One of the ones I don't play because I usually just play CE. They, whatchamacallit, the sound got even worse on Street Fighter II Championship Edition. It sounded like it turned into a mono speaker that was like you had it underneath your pool or you took it in your bathtub with you. Like, that's how bad it was, right? So it's a shame that happened as well, right? So I mean, it goes to show you this crap happens to everybody. Arcade1Up pushes out a firmware update, half the update breaks stuff. iArcade releases a brand new game and the game has issues. AtGames, we all know AtGames releases firmwares all the time that have issues, right? And that just sucks, man. We want a good, clean update. Is that asking too much? Yes.
There's good people at Arcade1Up doing this stuff, doing the software side, doing updates, testing it. Sometimes stuff happens. I know that most of the people testing don't always necessarily have the exact cabinet they're testing on. So from what people usually have, you saw it when B Kong was playing Killer Instinct that time on what was considered to be a test kit. So what they have is they have test kits, which are basically parts. They have like a control deck, they have a screen connected to the PCB and some speakers, but they don't have a full cabinet. So they'll get like firmware flashed to them and they try it on this test shit. And then if it works, it works. But the problem with that is if you don't have the actual cabinet, you're going to miss some issues because there's quirks with the way it works. So I think that's why some of this stuff gets out. It's not that it wasn't tested. It's just that it wasn't tested on the actual cabinet.
I like what you're thinking. Okay. Well, speaking of which, Mike, we got to talk some more Arcade1Up news. So let's find out what's up with one Arcade1Up. All right, Mike, I'm not going to steal your thunder. We have many viewers who tuned into the show today because you got a hold of some exclusive information about this Arcade1Up Golden Tee XL cabinet coming soon. And I'm going to let you share that with the viewers, buddy. What did we find out about this cabinet?
So I know Liberty Games put up a date, but what we heard here today is that in North America, And in Canada specifically, I heard that a pre-order will be going up for Golden Tee XL. It's actually not even being called XL with the cabinet. It's just being called Golden Tee 3D from most of the retailers on March 15th. So I think that is 4 days from today. Get your pocketbooks ready. You're going to be able to put your pre-orders in for Golden Tee 3D. And the actual delivery date is somewhere around April 10th is what I was told today. So, Canadian fans, go to your favorite retailer in Canada. Most of that is the Brick. Get ready on the 15th because the pre-order will be coming out. And then shortly after that, which didn't make me feel bad about sharing this news, was the fact that the Liberty Games put up their pre-order for March 18th, I think it is, or whatever the hell that's saying. So time works out. Yes, Jason Villeneuve, the Brick. Maybe that's where I heard about it.
Maybe. We don't know. We can't confirm or deny. But it appears, guys, in the United States, if you're interested in this cabinet, you might be able to place an order for it in 4 days. Now, here's what's funny, Mike, is we don't know the final United States pricing, though, right? Like, we know this is 699 pounds overseas. But
I should have asked that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. You should maybe next time you're talking to your source, you could ask your source what the price is going to be.
Yeah.
But just a heads up there. Now, I myself just sold over the weekend. I sold my original Golden Tee cabinet. Because as I've told all the viewers, I do plan on upgrading to the XL cabinet because I want to see what these XLs are all about. I want to review it. Plus, it's got a bowling game. Plus, it's got a shuffle shot game, and all that kinds of stuff. So I myself will be getting one, provided it's not $1,000. If they try to charge the $999 for this thing, I'm going to lose my head.
So, anyways, I just want to respond to something. Rainwater Game says, poor Jason Villeneuve never gets his name pronounced correctly. I'm sorry. I'm Canadian, so I'm going by the old F1 driver, Jacques Villeneuve. If that is incorrect, you can tell me.
All right, guys. So North American pre-orders March 15th next week. Get your budgets set up. At $399, they will sell out fast.
I don't think these are going to be $399.
I don't think so as well. Because what's interesting, Mike, is they raised the price on NBA Jam Standard Edition. NBA Jam Standard Edition is now $549.
I have something funny about that.
And here's what's funny is, Bashir Zarul and his crap marketing team, tell ESPN and all these other sources, hey, guys, this cabinet might be $599. Put that in your web articles. It might be $599. But then they just raised Standard Edition to $549. Are you telling me that this XL NBA Jam Shack cabinet's only going to be $50 more? I would be shocked, Mike. I would be shocked.
So, funny enough, I almost rebought my first ever Arcade1Up cabinet today. I've never bought a cabinet I sold, but I almost bought an NBA Jam today.
No way.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a link, and I'm gonna get you to see if you can put it up on the screen. So I'm gonna send this to you on our Facebook, and then see if I can get you to share it. You can just open a window and we can share your window. Oh, just open it. How do I do that?
Just open another window. Do you have more than one monitor turned on?
I'm just going to send this to you. You open it. You're the
I got to do all the hard work.
You already have a window open.
Yeah. I'm thinking that these things are going to be like $700. These XL cabinets. I don't see how these could be $500. You know what I mean? I just don't see it.
Well, I don't know either, but they caught me off guard with the post saying it was going to be $599. So we'll see.
You're telling me you rebought a
almost. I couldn't. Oh, yeah. You'll see.
I got an offer when I put my Golden Tee up for sale. The guy who bought my final fight cabinet reached out to me, and he goes, this cabinet because we've talked about it. We did a stream once, you and me, Mike, of like the cabinets we regret getting rid of, and Final Fight for me was one of them because I absolutely love that Arcade1Up cabinet. And he goes, "I'll trade you this for your Golden Tee. You want to get my Golden Tee and give me back $5?" And Mike thought about it. I actually was like, wait a minute, should I do? I'll get myself as a Yuki. All right, let me see.
Almost. So I'll share this picture with everybody because I hate that I just can't share my screen right now.
All right. Some people are saying we're having stream issues, Mike. Hang on.
Share. I can share my screen. What am I doing? I'm an idiot.
Yeah, hang on. Let's get this off here. Why is our stream breaking up? All right. Hang on. Mike, I'm going to try something. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no
I don't
worries.
think it's I don't think it's us. I think it's YouTube. All right.
Yeah.
Tell people about your life.
So, anyways, guys, this is a story all about how life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, tell you how I became the Prince of a Bel Air. I messed up. I'm gonna have to do something else. I don't know what to do. So, anyways, I'm gonna do that. Share system audio, I guess. That's not working. Why can't I just share the screen? Share. It's not working. Yeah, there we go.
What about now, guys? Are we in better shape now? Let us know. Man, we just lost a lot of viewers.
Oh, it happens. It's 2:18. Don't worry about it, PDubs. This stuff happens. They were probably upset with my rapping. So, anyways, if you take a look at my screen, I just opened it up. Look at the price there.
$199, $200.
$200 for the NBA Jam edition with the light up deck and the stool. So I was like, Canada never gets these deals. So I went in and I tried to buy it. And literally seconds after it got posted in our Arcade1Up Canadian fan page, it was sold. And I'm mad at myself because I had it in my cart and I was just about to hit checkout. And then the guy said, oh, you might be able to get a coupon code for free shipping. So I went in my email to look for a coupon code, gave up on it, went back and hit buy, and it was sold out. So if I didn't look for that stupid coupon code, I would have had this NBA Jam for $200.
Yeah, so apparently that first webpage we shared started causing our stream to drag, and once we closed it out, it's all good. So my apologies, guys. I know we had about 30 people left the show. I would have done the same thing, but you know what's cool about this, Mike? Is the 230 diehards. They stuck around. They were like, we know they'll fix it. We know they'll fix it.
You the real ones.
You guys are the real deal. All right. So we talked about the Golden Tee. We talked about the Big Blue firmware update. What is up with this Double Dragon thing?
Well, we were all waiting for the news to drop because 19K Fox, probably at a bar, wrote us earlier this week and told us, oh, by the way, Double Dragon's coming out this week. And we were like, get out of here, Double Dragon. And I started in immediately saying, that makes no sense. They can't recreate the classic arcade because of the giant title logo on the side. Yeah. And he said, no, it's going to come. So we were like, oh, Toycade told you this. And he was like, not Toycade. So, of course, we did get the details today.
Yeah, so let's kind of zoom in here for everyone. So you notice this doesn't have Reese's watermark on it. Reese actually sent this to me, guys. So make sure you subscribe to Big Reese on YouTube. But he sent it to me. He sent it to me with a message. He said, here's a copy of that picture without my watermark on it, since you guys are going to complain about it. It was actually pretty funny. I was like, don't worry, man. I'll use this one. But yeah, take a look at that. Apparently, this is a real thing. Retro Arcade1Up Double Dragon showed up on this store's inventory list along with the Dragons Lair. This is Australian pricing, obviously, $1,200. But I guess this is the source of all those YouTube videos today, right? All those YouTube videos today. But that's it. We got nothing else to back it up but this, man. What do you think? What do you think?
So a couple things. Someone in the comments said nothing worse than MichaelB's fanboyism. You're probably not going to want to be here for the rest of this segment then, man. I don't know what to tell you. So we've seen this before. Unqualified critics put up these exact same things last year from Randy's Records. A lot of them didn't come to fruition. They say it themselves. Nothing's confirmed until it's confirmed. So right now a retailer has a SKU, a listing for Double Dragon. That doesn't mean it's coming out, but we can start to speculate because it's there, right?
Absolutely. And big shout out once again to Big Reese on YouTube. Make sure you guys check him out for sending us this picture so we could further speculate on it. Now, my good friend MichaelB, the Game Genie, today, actually, you did a really good video about this today, talking about the artwork, the fact that this was originally a Taito release, but now this game is owned by Arc System Works, right? You know, so it's like, what kind of art is Arcade1Up going to put on this thing? Are they going to put the Taito artwork on it? Or are they going to do like a custom artwork like they're doing with the MK30th, right? Like, what are they going to do? Do you think they'll get all the parties on board? You know what I mean?
I hope so, because I want these things to be as authentic as possible. But yeah, so Think Up, which is the creative team behind Arcade1Up that does a lot of the cabinets and designs the art and stuff like that. We'll see what they do. I know a lot of people will want custom on this. They don't like the side, but me personally, I would rather see them do it arcade authentic or switch it to Double Dragon 2 if you're going to do it at all. At least that one has nice looking sides. So before we get any further, the people that are jumping in the chat just doing the conversion on this, what you need to understand about the Australian pricing is that no way should you take this as an indication of what the American or Canadian prices are going to be. Talk to anybody over in Australia. They pay a massive markup on Arcade1Up stuff, and that price is in line with what they're already paying. There's a guy I know online on Twitter named Synth Spacies. He bought a Capcom Legacy cabinet that I believe might have been $1,100 Australian for the Capcom Legacy. So before you jump on $1,200, that's Australian, and they have a massive markup there on Arcade1Up products.
Yeah, like honestly, Mike.
I know.
I think some of our viewers are going to kill me, but I think this cabinet's hideous.
It is. It is hideous. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that at all.
Like, look at this. This is so horrible.
It's horrible.
I'm sorry. I know people love Double Dragon. Like, the control deck looks cool.
Yeah.
The marquee, the bezel looks cool. The marquee looks cool. And then they're like, let's just take a big dump on the side panels of this cabinet, right? So, you know what? Honestly, I got to say, if Arcade1Up actually doesn't partner up with Taito and Arc System Works, and they have to put out different artwork on this cabinet, like you said, maybe a Double Dragon 2 cabinet instead. Like,
yeah,
I think I would be okay with it, because honestly, I think this looks like crap. But guys, do you think it looks cool? Let me know in the live chat. I think this looks terrible.
Oh, look, Zodwriter, you're a good dude, man. But like, I don't know if people just, I hate this comment. So listen, literally, do you go on people's shows when they have like an NES game and I'm like, oh man, I had this game as a kid, I love it. And then you're like, simping on a game when you could play it on a Raspberry Pi? People know multicades and iiRcade and other products exist. It's not about that. Take a step back, guys.
Yeah, let's do this here. $5 super chat from BCB. Perfect opportunity to upgrade the old cab design and sell a winner with great side art, cabinet artwork sells, and add Renegade and Combat Tribes. There you go. Like where he's going with that. Yeah, now, so here's what's interesting, Mike, is although you can get these on the iiRcade, just like the Dragons Lair games are on the iiRcade. And even though the iiRcade is a 5:4 monitor, the games are in 4:3. They're in their proper aspect ratio. There are very slight bars on the top and bottom of the screens, but you can barely tell they're there when you play these games on the iiRcade, because they are presented in their right aspect ratio. Plus, iiRcade has the home and the arcade versions on there as well, not just one or the other, right? Although you could do all that, there are so many people out there, or not so many, but maybe because obviously they've sold 3 million cabinets. It's just, they're Arcade1Up fans, man. They don't want to buy other arcade cabinets from AtGames or iiRcade. They want this. This is what they're looking for, right?
Different strokes for different folks, right?
You know, now me personally, if this cabinet gets released, I know I won't buy this cabinet. You know what I mean? If I want to play the Double Dragon series, and also I didn't pre-order the Arcade1Up Dragons Lair either, because, or I'm not going to.
Well, I want that one.
I know you want to, because I'm totally happy with the iiRcade Dragons Lair, right? Different strokes for different folks. Please don't come on here telling people that we're simping for somebody. We have to cover all these companies fairly. There's a lot of podcast shows out there, and there's a lot of these sponsored podcast shows that are literally like, hey, we're working for this one company. We're only allowed to talk about this one company. The Super GameRoom Dudes, we talk about all the companies.
As long as Restalgia's not here, so we're not bound by our AtGames
But yeah, I think, but getting back on track here, my dudes, I honestly don't think this is an attractive cabinet. If you think it is, let me know in the live chat.
It's a tough one because I want Arcade1Up to recreate the authentic look of the cabinet, but in this one, I've said it's not a nice looking cabinet. And then I got attacked because people were like, next time you beg for a Robotron cabinet, remember how bad that side art looks. Like, you can't win sometimes.
Yeah.
I want authentic. So I mean, you know what? I'm not going to buy this cabinet. Double Dragon, like, I'm okay not getting it. I have more love for Double Dragon on the consoles, and I don't have any room left. But for the people who want it, I hope you get what you want. It's just when Arcade1Up are doing that stuff, I don't like them taking creative liberties with the cab. I don't like them thinking they can make them look better than the originals. And this is an example where I think people are going to ask for that, and it might lead Arcade1Up down a path that they won't come back from sometimes, because we want these to be recreations. Tron, amazing. Can you imagine if they just did their own Arcade1Up inspired Tron side art? Would it have sold as well?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
And then authentic. I don't mean authentic to the real cab. I mean, listen, we know they're toys, but if you can blur the lines and make people feel good and bring up that nostalgia, that's a better thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to pull up the Double Dragon 2 arcade, Mike, so people can kind of see the artwork. And maybe like Mortal Kombat, like how they have it all Mortal Kombat 2 arcade artwork on their cabinets. Like maybe they'll do Double Dragon 2 arcade. Let's see if we can find a picture of one of the original ones. That one's kind of fuzzy. What's this one? Oh, here you go. Now this would look way better. And this one actually has Technos Romstar on it, which is now owned by Arc Systems. This might be the better way to go. Oh, hang on.
The Double Dragon 2 cab is awesome. Yeah.
Let's take a look. Oh, now this would be better. Oh, look at this. So there you go. Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. See, and it says Technos Romstar instead of Taito on it. And look at that. That's actually much better. So yeah.
I think if they're forced, like if you have to make the decision to go with Double Dragon 1 and then take creative liberties on the side art and do your own compared to just doing Double Dragon 2, I'd rather they did Double Dragon 2, kept it authentic.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I think they would have to put Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3 on there. And then pick some other Technos games. Mike did a great video. Make sure you guys check it out on MichaelB's channel earlier today. He talked about some great Technos games like Map Mania and stuff that they could throw on this cabinet to maybe add a little bit more fluff to it, etc. Again, those are all games you could just buy on the iiRcade because they have a relationship with Technos. It's like, what do you want in your house? Do you want a multicade, or do you want cabinets that kind of imitate what the originals looked like? I mean, it's that old adage, you know what I mean? So yeah, there you go. I actually like this artwork better than what was on the Double Dragon 1 cabinet myself personally.
Me too.
So I think that would be a better way to go, right?
I do too. If they're going to do it, I would rather if they're not going to do Double Dragon 1 and keep the hideous Taito side art that should be there, I hope they do Double Dragon 2. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah. So what's funny is I find it interesting though right now, Mike, that Arcade1Up might be releasing cabinets now with games that are on the iiRcade platform. Do you think they're just doing their own thing, or do you think it's like, hey, they're kind of like flexing their chest right now, trying to be like, hey, we can do these games too? Like, it's kind of interesting.
I said it in my video. Next one's going to be Beach Buggy Racing.
I doubt it. But wouldn't it be funny if Jong turns around? He's like, okay, Arcade1Up is going to release Double Dragon. Well, you know what, guys? I'm going to put Double Dragon Neon. I'm going to get that game and throw that game on my system. And that would be really cool.
There's a super chat here for Zodwriter. And Zodwriter, brother, I do apologize. It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes context in a comment gets way out of place. I completely understand, man. I am sorry for acting so aggressive. You have to understand how many times, me personally, because I like Arcade1Up, I get attacked, and all the time they're like, you could just play these games in a multicade. And at some point, people have to understand, like, I have multicades behind me. I get it.
Yeah. And Mike, I just wanted to apologize because it's usually me that's attacking you or instigating the attacks. I'm just kidding. Zod, we love you, and Zod, we trust. Kneel before Zod. Also, kneel before Goofyfoot, who is still blocked on the MichaelB Game Genie channel, hasn't been unblocked yet.
He's not blocked.
Count your blessings on cabinet designs, MichaelB. We will never forget the Blitz.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of people also they keep talking about that too. They were like, "Oh, Shaq's gonna."
Yeah.
It was a Super Bowl party on Super Bowl weekend. What there was reason to believe that Arcade1Up was releasing Blitz.
I would, you know what, Mike, you talked me into thinking that it was going to happen so much that I even made a video. And I deleted my video because I was like, I can't leave this out there in the world. This video is stupid.
Yeah.
I know you left your video out there, but you know what I mean?
I own it. I made a mistake. I mean, like I didn't see Arcade1Up going in this year without having a heavy hitter on their plate. And to me, the heaviest hitter they could offer was NFL Blitz. And I hope they can do it because I think people will really like it. I just hope it works.
Yeah. Title calves are kind of basic looking. I think he's got a good point there. Keep attacking. I love the drama, baby. Come on now.
So I will ask the question: if Arcade1Up's not going to do an authentic or authentic looking, I'm going to be very careful saying this because people can take this stuff way too seriously. If Arcade1Up's not going to do a recreation of the original cabinet, like let's say for example, Quarter Arcades released a Quarter Arcade Double Dragon, and it didn't. Yeah, I know. I got it on the list. New Wave. So if Quarter Arcades released a Quarter Arcade Double Dragon and it didn't look like the original, people would have a problem with that, right? And that's the way I look at Arcade1Up. Arcade1Up is basically a 3/4 scale version of a Quarter Arcade. So I want recreations of the original arcade, not just a piece of furniture. Like I hate the new NBA Jam. I'm not going to get the NBA Jam XL. That's the other reason I thought about buying that NBA Jam today, because the new one looks like shit. So I just might as well just get the 3/4 again.
Happy to say Cheesy B didn't convince me, says Chuck. Seth gave us a monster $20 donation. He got his tax return. He's sharing the wealth. Love y'all shows. Great content. Well, we love you, Seth. Thanks so much. We greatly appreciate it. Now, Mike, oh my God, we totally skipped New Wave Toys.
Yeah.
Do we have time? We're at an hour. We're at an hour 20. Let's ask the viewers. Guys, do you want to talk about New Wave Toys or should we pull the plug? Let us know. I skipped them. It's my fault. I want to talk about them because they did something bad and they did something good. I want to talk about them, but if everyone's got stuff to do, we can pull the plug. You know what I mean? But we can talk.
There's always more time. We could do this for 5 hours. I wouldn't get tired of it.
I know.
You know that.
I know. Well, I love pocket. You know what? One thing I always miss is when I was doing I Hate Mondays, and I would usually have you on as a regular because, Mike, I just think you and I podcast well together. You know what I mean? Like we've been doing this together for a long time, and we have great camaraderie, and you're usually the butt of all the jokes.
Camaraderie? Camaraderie?
Yeah, I'm talking like a Canadian now. But guys, real quick, let's not forget this. New Wave Toys has got some awesome desk shit coming your way, and you have 13 days, 22 hours to get your pre-orders in. Now, here's what they did good, is they're bringing out Space Ace, as well as 2 variations of it, right? The original cabinet, as well as a variant, which is considered a Dragons Lair conversion kit. Yeah. And that's really cool, right? But I noticed, Mike, after I made my video, a lot of people are upset that they're bringing back Dragons Lair for another batch run because they feel the ones that they bought, which were supposed to be limited edition, are now worth less money, Mike. They feel like they're worth less money. I got a lot of comments on my YouTube video about this. And you know what? I kind of see their point, Mike. I kind of see their point. But then again, as somebody who missed out on the first run of the Dragons Lair, I missed it. You missed it. It's cool for us, man. Like, I'm like, I got my orders in, right? I'm happy they brought it back. But people are upset.
I'm on 2 minds about that, and because if you're upset that it devalues financially the collectible video game product you bought, I don't know if you're buying these stuff for the right reason. Are you buying it because of the value, or you're buying it because you love it, you want to display it? I mean, so it's just a hard one for me to answer. Like I understand why you're upset if you bought it for the financial reason. I'm just going to have a lot of trouble understanding buying it for the financial reason in my head.
Yeah. So apparently, the new version. So I asked them because I missed out on the first version. I asked them like, was the first run like individually numbered? Was there like a little plaque on there, like 1 of 5,000 or something like that? And they said no. So I'm like, so these weren't like numbered, no certificate of authenticity. Like technically, like I get it. But I'm just happy I'm getting one, Mike. But either way, what's really cool about these versions, Mike, is the Dragons Lair and the Space Ace. Apparently, with the HDMI out, they're coming out with a little TV that you can put on top of these things, like a little mini TV, like they did back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a viewing monitor. So if you
Yeah.
guys watch John's Arcade, he's got a real Dragon's Lair cabinet. He actually does have the CRT viewing monitor up on top of his Dragon's Lair. So if you want to go check out some of his videos, you can watch that. And that was one of the things I loved about this was the fact that it has an HDMI out, so you can just plug it into a real TV for a viewing monitor as well. So I'm really excited about this. Unfortunately, even at that $149 sales price, I went in to buy one, but I mean, I'm looking at almost $370 Canadian for a $149 product by the time shipping and tax and duties gets into it. So
that's a lot, bro.
I was so excited, went right to the site, and then that shipping and duties just killed it for me because I'm basically paying for it twice.
Yeah. Now look at how cool this original Space Ace looks. Now I ordered the other version because I ordered that version of Dragon's Lair with the red T molding on it. And these are, Gabriel asked, how big are these? Dude, these are 1/6 scale. These are like this tall.
I thought they were 1/8.
1/6.
1/6. Okay.
1/6, right? So yeah, and $149. I put the code in, use Bluth10. Use code Bluth10 at checkout, guys, and you could get it for $139. Save a little bit of money, but hell, even their prices have gone up, just like all these other companies, right?
Yeah.
You know? But here's the original Space Ace design. What do you think about that, Mike? Which one did you want to get? Did you want to get Space Ace or Dragon's Lair?
Original Dragon's Lair.
Oh, you weren't interested in Space Ace at all? I was. I got this one. This one's kind of cool. Look at that. I like it. Mark bought all 4. Holy cow. Yes, Rainwater.
Mark's a big roller, man.
Yeah. No need to bring your own phone. This does have 2 screens, guys. There's 2 screens here. They got the little screen for the alphanumeric scoring display and the 4.2-inch screen for the standard display. There are 2 screens in there. Plus, they're coming out with an accessory screen that you can put on top, Mike, like a little mini TV you can mount on top of these things like they used to do. You know what I mean? So that's pretty funny, man.
So for me to fly my Arcade1Up fanboyism flag again, one thing I do like about this, like at that price point, I was at $370. Maybe I'm still going to get the Arcade1Up, but maybe I'll just wait on the Arcade1Up. One thing I really like about all the games on that cabinet, because it's going to have Dragons Lair 2, and Space Ace. They all use the exact same control, so there's no concessions being made there to put those games on that cabinet. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I do like Space Ace more than Dragon's Lair. I would say I'm a bigger Space Ace fan than I am a Dragon's Lair fan.
Yeah, and that's fine. I actually I might be with you in terms of the gameplay. I really enjoy playing Space Ace more than Dragon's Lair on my arcade. I do, but I have more nostalgia for Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair means more to me in the arcades and the arcade history.
Now, if you put your pre-orders in, guys, these aren't even going to be delivered until first quarter 2023. So you're talking almost a year from now before these shows up. And Mike, you know what's funny is I have, with New Wave Toys now, I have Missile Command, Q*bert, and now these 2 cabinets all on pre-order. And I'm just waiting. You know what I mean? Yep. Like one day I'm going to go outside and like the Missile Command's going to be there and then the Q*bert cab's going to be there. You know what I mean? So yeah. What did I share? Guys, who's in our... Guys, there's a link in the video description below for a Super GameRoom Dudes Facebook group. You definitely want to join that. I shared the latest trucking update from New Wave Toys. One of the cabinets that people are about to receive, is it Q*bert or is it Missile Command? I can't remember, Mike.
Yeah, there was people in the chat asking if you got your Q*bert yet.
My real Q*bert arcade cabinet, guys, just got picked up yesterday, and I'll have it by Wednesday, so maybe Tuesday, Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which new Wave Toys cabinet has arrived, like one of the containers. I can't remember. We have so many companies we try to cover, Mike.
Well, there's so much cool stuff. Like it's crazy
Yeah.
to see how much arcade interest has increased, peaked in the last like 4 or 5 years. Like you have companies like Arcade1Up. Quarter Arcades has been around for a while, but it's going up.
Yeah, so the Warren Davis version of their new Wave Toys mini cuber cabinet is shipping on that's going to be imminent. Like they're in the container and all that stuff. Now the one that I got was the one that it looks just like the original arcade. I didn't order the Warren Davis custom edition. So that one I have no idea when I'm going to get, Mike. But if you guys pre-ordered the custom one, you're going to get it before us who ordered the standard one. And what's funny is the people who like New Wave Toys, there were a few people, Mike, in our live chat who mentioned they buy all the versions. Like they have some very dedicated fans who love these collectibles. The way I look at them, Mike, is they're collectibles. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
all my Replicades and my numbskull cabinets, I might pull them down and play them. Like what happens is, Mike, is I take them down once a month to dust them, and then I'll play them after I've dusted them. And then I put them back on the shelf. They're more to stare at and gawk at. You know what I mean?
Can you see my quarter arcades back there behind my championship belt? Same thing.
You know what I mean? Like that's the only time I play it is when I go to clean it, right? Now, other people love these things and actually enjoy playing them. Me, I enjoy staring at them. You know what I mean? So there you go. Video Game Vegas says he got the original cuber. It'll be worth the wait. I got to sneeze here. Mike, take over the show.
And let's watch PDubs sneeze in high definition. As you can see here, there's a rifling amount of phlegm coming out of his nose.
I muted my microphone. But that's what's going on with New Wave Toys. Very exciting stuff. But
yeah, it's awesome. I'm hoping to figure out some workaround for the shipping issue because I really want Dragons Lair. Like it kills me. Like they did such a good job. Like even the laser disc they included. Like I was so upset that I missed out on it. Second chance, but man, oh man, I cannot pay $400 for a Replicade. I can't.
Yeah. For those asking, my real Cuber arcade cabinet is going to go downstairs right next to my real Super Mario Brothers Mushroom World pinball machine. So I'm going to have the real pinball machine and the arcade machine side by side. And what's cool, Mike, is they're both predominantly yellow cabinets. So it's going to look like, a banana farm over there. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to have two big yellow arcades side by side downstairs. There's no way I'm hauling that 300-pound cabinet upstairs. It's just not happening. So yeah, it's going to stay downstairs with the real pinball machine. All the toys are upstairs, Mike. All the big boys are downstairs. You know what I mean? So yeah,
everybody's turning into real arcade collectors around me. I'm going to be the only one left with the home arcades.
What's funny is after I got it, Mike sent me a text message and he's like, "So you're into real arcades now, huh?" It was so funny.
I think it's a trap. It's all a trap. Everybody's leaving me with the real arcades they can get.
All right, Mike, we've hit 90 minutes. We've covered all the topics. We've covered all the top companies. I'm sorry. I'm so used to Detroit Love being here. Guys, we've hit the end of the line. I need to go eat pizza. And also, I'm going to try my best to actually get some videos edited and posted. I haven't posted anything. MichaelB, what's coming up on your channel? You could tell people real quick.
Geez, I don't know. I started working on Tron review. Hopefully I'm going to get that done relatively soon. I also got my 8-track light gun for my Legends Ultimate, so I wanted to kind of do a video comparing the experience towards playing on the Arcade1Up with the Sinden, then the extra stuff you can do with the 8-track. Lots of people already made videos. Hell, I used your video to set it up, PDubs, but I'll just give my experience for the two. And that
makes me feel better, Mike, because I have literally made an AtGames tutorial video for everything you could possibly do on AtGames.
Yeah.
And whenever you cover AtGames, you're always like, well, I watched Detroit Love's tutorial video. Oh, I watched Wagner's Tech Talk tutorial video. You've never once have watched one of my tutorials and mentioned it in your video. Never once.
Who, me?
You.
I only use Wagner for the pinball stuff, man. It's because he's got guides that are out there.
I
Now,
know, man.
to be fair, the only
Dude, I'm
reason
just hazing you, bro.
the only reason I use your video is because I went to Cool Toys videos first, and he told me to go watch your video. He wasn't going to cover anything else.
So there you go. So once again, I was sloppy seconds. Mike does not watch my content. It's official. I don't even know why we're friends. You know what, guys? Give us a thumbs up on the way out. Click that subscribe button, and we will see you on the web.
There's a super chat.
Wait, what?
Super chat from Zohar before we go.
Oh,
you can't
really?
You can't not do the
All
super
right.
chat.
$5. Sorry to be negative. Have to ask, when will all this end? In 2 to 3 years, if we keep going, we won't be able to move around our homes. Ever wonder this? Me personally, I think this might be like the last big year, in my opinion. I think things are going to start plateauing next year. You know what I'm saying, Mike? Like, I don't think these companies have hit their plateau yet. So that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Hell, these companies could still be kicking ass in 5 years, but I honestly think, you know what? I think a lot of us are going to be losing interest after, you get to your 50th cabinet. You know what I mean? Like, here I go again. I got to go get another cabinet. I got to do the arcade shuffle. That's just my opinion.
My wife
I mean?
literally had a baby to get me to stop buying cabs.
It was a trap. That's how that happened. All right, guys, give us a thumbs up on the way out. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, my dudes, we will see you.
Couchcade.
The Couchcade has hit the ports. We have no idea what it looks like. We have no idea what it is.
It's a full couch.
Can I end the show now, Mike?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, guys, we will see you on the web. Hopefully I did that Detroit Love justice. Later, guys.